everybody, and welcome to the Scott Show. We are making it happen here as we are looking at the NCAA Top 25. We're going to go through all top 25 schools and then give you the games coming up for the week. So at number 25, we have Iowa State, followed by Memphis, LSU, West Virginia, and USC. Those are 21 through 25. Then at 20, you have Stanford, 19, Auburn, UCF at 18, South Florida, 17. Now, both of these schools are undefeated right now. And looking at that Power of 5 bowl game, which could be the deciding factor. I mean, if they're undefeated throughout the season, they might even be looking at that top 4. But who knows? It could be interesting. Michigan State at number 16, 6-1 on the season. Washington State, NC State, Virginia Tech, Washington, and Oklahoma State round up. And now we get to the top 10. We have Oklahoma at number 10, 6-1 record. We have Notre Dame at 6-1. I know that my good friend Eric will be excited to hear that. Moving up 4 spots. We have the Miami Hurricanes at 6-0. Number 8 on the season. Number 7 is the defending champion Clemson Tigers. Number 6 is Ohio State. Number 5 is Wisconsin. Number 4, TCU. Number 3, Georgia. Number 2, Penn State. And number 1, Alabama. Now, I do have to say before we get to the games and what's going on, you did hear the top 10. You heard TCU and Oklahoma. They'll probably be playing somewhere down the road. You got Clemson and Miami. I think that they play somewhere down the road too. Ohio State and Penn State, they're playing this weekend. And Georgia and Alabama, they will probably be meeting in the SEC title game for the right to go on to the national championship. But folks, if they're both undefeated, who's to say that they're both not going to the championship game? Now, I'm probably going to be making a podcast as we get closer, talking about what it would be like if there were 8 teams instead of 4, or 12 teams instead of 4. So enjoy that when that happens. I know that I have a few people who listen to these podcasts who don't enjoy listening to me talk about 8 teams in the playoff. But it's just idiotic that we don't have 8 teams. Anyway, we need to get to the games. A lot of big games, all with playoff implications. Because, folks, truthfully, all the games have playoff implications if there's only 4 teams in the damn playoff. Just saying, you need to change your stuff. More money in the pocket, but they're totally missing out. All right, Stanford Cardinals, they are playing the Oregon State Beavers in Oregon State. They're playing tonight. In fact, the 26th of October. Wow. All right. This is going well. Tomorrow we have Tulane versus Memphis, the 24-ranked Memphis Tigers. 6-1 on the season. They got Tulane in the Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. On Saturday, that's where all the big games are played. You have number 5, Wisconsin, playing off against Illinois, the Fighting Illini, as they are in Illinois, and that will be one hell of a game. Miami against North Carolina. You have Oklahoma State against West Virginia, number 11 against number 22. They are playing this game in West Virginia. You have the number 2 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, as they will be facing off against the Ohio State Buckeyes in Ohio Stadium. Well, folks, that one is going to be just a barn burner. That is going to be the game of the day, I think. So definitely check that out. There you go. Then you have the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs against the Florida Gators in what will be an awesome game. And that is played in Florida in the swamp. So watch out for that one being a little bit closer than everybody thinks it's going to be. If Georgia wins out of this, they are for real. They are for real. As they are already 7-0, but if they beat Florida in Florida, they're for real. All right, TCU, the Horned Frogs, 7-0, come into Iowa State to face off against the Cyclones. They're ranked number 25 in the nation. Number 14, the North Carolina State Wolfpack against the number 9 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And they're in Notre Dame. So that is how big that game is. They are in Notre Dame playing this. And there you go. So a big game from Notre Dame if they wanted to break into that top 4. And they have every way that they can conceivable because people are going to fall down. I mean, you have 3 Big Ten teams, and they're all going to be playing each other. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens here. UCLA against the number 12 Washington Huskies, 6-1. They're playing at Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium in Washington. What a long name for a field. I'm going to just get off here on a tangent for like 2 seconds and just say I am not a happy camper when it comes to naming of the field and the stadium and the arena. If you name all of them or the name is a lot longer than it needs to be, if you need 2 lines to give your name of your arena, then you've obviously got too big of a name in the arena. So, there you go. Alright, going back to where we were talking about, this is in Ryan Field. Small name. There you go. It's the number 16 Michigan State Spartans as they will be facing off against the Northwestern Wildcats. We have the Houston Cougars against the number 17 South Florida Bulls. They're playing at Raymond James Stadium. We have the Governors of Austin Peay as they will be playing off against Central Florida, the Knights. I want to give a big special shout out to our good friends in Central Florida as they are going to be doing some stuff there very soon for Homelessness and Hunger Week. So big shout out to those folks and lots of love to the University of Central Florida as they face off against the Governors at 5 o'clock on Saturday. The Blue Devils of Duke, who have an amazing basketball team, but this is football, are going to be playing off against the number 13 ranked Virginia Tech Hokies. We have Virginia Tech, or we have Georgia Tech, lots of Techs. Virginia Tech is going to be playing against Duke. Then we have Georgia Tech as they will be facing off against the number 7 ranked Clemson Tigers. We'll see what happens in that game. If Clemson keeps it up, they might regain the 4th place, 3rd place, wherever they're going to land. Then we have Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, against number 10 Oklahoma Sooners. That game is in Oklahoma. So, I don't know if I would really like to be Texas Tech at this point. I probably wouldn't want to be Texas Tech because the Oklahoma Sooners got something to teach here as we move on and we go to Washington State. The Cougars, number 15th ranked in the nation, as they will be facing off against the Arizona Wildcats, 5-2 on the season. Then 21 ranked USC Trojans as they will be playing the Arizona State Sun Devils in Arizona Sun Devil Stadium at Frank Cush Field. And like I said before, it just annoys me that the field has a name and the stadium has a name. You know, you guys got Hall of Fames for a reason. It's just me complaining, that's all it is. So I think the game of the day that I'm looking forward to is Penn State and Ohio State. I think that will be the one to give the call for who wins the Big Ten. But then you have Wisconsin. So it'll be very interesting later down the road to see what happens with Penn State and Wisconsin and Ohio State. So I'm interested in that. I want to know what happens. Now, Penn State does not play Wisconsin. So they would be playing Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. But Ohio State, I think, does play Wisconsin. Now, their one loss so far is to Oklahoma. and that was early in the season. They got a lot to prove here as they play. Oh, I do apologize. They don't play Wisconsin either. So the winner of this game will more than likely be the ones to move on to play Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. So here you have they play Iowa. This is Ohio State. They play Iowa. They play Michigan State. They play Illinois. Until the big game itself, they play in Michigan this year. The Ann Arbor Big Michigan Stadium against the Wolverines. So it's going to be a very interesting series of games coming up here. We have 14 weeks actually with the Big Ten and other championship games. And then we go right into the bowl games, which I will be covering here on the Scott Show podcast as we do every day. We'll be covering the lower division show tomorrow as we do. And I will get a whole bunch more podcasts done in the pop culture show. And we'll be talking about some music today. I'm going to go through some of my musical selections and just the stuff I like. So, why not? It sounds like a fun little time. Stuff Scott likes. Music edition. It'll be a fun little podcast. And check that out, so that'll be in the archives if you're listening to this late. I do want to thank everybody for listening into the Scott Show. Lots of love to all our friends. We have a lot of people who are listening to this for the first time. I want to thank you and keep listening because we have a lot of fun. So like, share, subscribe on YouTube, on Speaker.com. If you subscribe, you'll get them right away. And if you go to 102550.net, you can click on the Scott Show podcast, click on the sports show, and you will hear it live when we go live. So there you go, folks. Check us out every day, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you soon. Enjoy a great weekend of football.